Hey everybody, it's me, Chris Herman, here for another episode of On Deck. Today we have collectively Aaron Bickart, who is the Executive Vice President and General Manager of Offer Logix, a technology company in our retail automotive space. And Aaron's a very interesting dude. It turns out we had way more things to talk about than I knew before we sat down today. So I think you're really going to enjoy the conversation. And without further ado, here we go. It's Aaron Bickart. Aaron Bickart, welcome, sir. You are on deck.
Thank you, Chris.
Bitte schön. For those that are watching and listening, Aaron, we've known each other. We met, as we determined earlier, about 5 years ago in Philadelphia, right, at a conference, and have bumped into each other a few times, of course, being in the industry over the years. But your company, Offer Logix, is a technology-based company that provides essentially API feeds from the manufacturer that helps dealers and or dealer marketers and or retailers process the specials and offer, as you call them, penny perfect payments. Is that it?
That's correct.
Did I get it right?
Yeah, well, short, we call it PPP. But yes, penny perfect
we had some
payments.
PPP around here,
yeah,
too.
A lot of PPP going on around here the last 2 years. A lot of people are getting arrested, too, for what they did.
I was just talking to our accountant the other day, and he's like, now they have a whole task force now going after these people who totally abuse the program.
Oh, my goodness. Some people buying nice jets and putting nice cars, buying nice homes.
Yeah.
But get back to the PPP.
Yeah, let's get back to your PPP.
But it's not part of that PPP program. So our PPP program is penny perfect payments, correct?
Okay. So give us a little introduction into your world, your company, and what you do, and we'll start there. And then, as I said, I know we've got a hard stop at some point in time, but we'll go until we can't go anymore.
Okay, yeah. So it's real simple. We are a B2B player. We don't sell directly to car dealers directly. We power a lot of the most recognizable brands in the industry today, and we provide in real time. What I mean by real time is in milliseconds. A lease or a finance calculation using all the subvented rebates, APRs, dealer cash, conditional stackable rebates, whatever it is, back to the partner, depending on how they send the URL or the API into us, and we can provide that to them in a penny perfect payment. So that way they can provide a transparent, frictionless payment to their partner, and then they can provide that to their consumer, which gives the ultimate customer experience.
Show's over.
No, but I've done that line a couple times, as you can tell.
That's
the
good.
Ultimate customer experience. I actually like that line.
It's great, and so much for us to talk about. We just spent 2 hours talking about everything.
Yes.
And now we've got to trudge through it all again, right? But I think we've been talking, of course, here at the agency, we're talking about with you, because I feel that this is something that would be very beneficial to our small little shop here and our clients that we serve. But what has been the response generally in the industry? We were talking about your growth. We've been talking about the effectiveness of your tool. When you get people plugged in and hooked up, what do they say? What do they think?
Well, I don't know exactly what they say too often, but I can tell you this. The first thing they say to us is it's very easy. One of the things that I've learned in business is take the model from Staples. And they have this button. It's a big red button. And say, that was easy. And if you make things easy for people to digest or do business with you, they want to do business with you. And if you're flexible and nimble and not try to hold them down to any particular things, and make sure that, again, make it easy for them, I think you win in the business place. And the other motto that I think that they love is the KISS model. You heard of the KISS model?
Keep it simple, stupid.
Yeah, but I don't like the word stupid.
Okay,
so I call it keep it Sesame Street. So at the end of the day, if you keep everything completely Sesame Street, and tell good stories and be able to provide a service that's very easy to work with, people want to do business with you. And I think that's how we came to market. Reality is it was also perfect timing, with COVID. More people are working from home. Social media has been going there. Lease and finance calculations are very hard to do. And I think people wanted to more have the Amazon experience, where it's more personalized. And we just got lucky, I would say, that we came to market at a perfect time.
That's great, man. We were talking earlier about, your history and involvement with Team Velocity, but let's go back a little bit further. How did you end up in the retail automotive business?
Well, this is actually a funny story, and I don't tell it too often. So I actually, in high school, I needed to get a job. Mm-hmm. So I actually been in the auto industry about 36 years, maybe 37 years. So I started pumping gas at a local gas station down the street from my house. Walked there every single day or rode my bicycle.
And you grew up in?
Philadelphia.
Okay.
Wyncote, Pennsylvania, which is right outside Philadelphia, northeast Philadelphia.
Okay.
Cheltenham area. And I needed to get a job. And actually, I was making great money, $3.35 an hour. Yeah, that's right, everybody. $3.35 an hour. Pumping gas. And actually, it was a great job.
Yeah.
And the name of the mobile station was, at that time, because you're from New Jersey, everyone had to get their gas pumped.
Yes.
Right? There was no self-serve. Now I am dating myself.
Now, listen, we're similar vintage.
Yeah.
As we discussed.
Yeah, both born in 71.
Yes.
So we're perfect. So they had a mini serve island and they had a full service island. So I started pumping gas, got some tips. I remember this one story. Guy came in, he gave me like 10 cents as a tip. And he goes, buy yourself a candy bar. And I said, candy bars today are 65 cents. but I was like, hey, 10 cents is better than nothing. So then he had a service center, and I changed oil, changed flat tires, put new tires on, did whatever we had to do. And then I grew into the marketplace, in the auto industry, started selling cars in 1990. And I worked for a great guy, actually, out of New York. He bought a dealership down in Avery Wilkins, bought Broadway. It was Broadway Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram.
Okay.
And then I grew into the industry as a car salesman. And actually, I was one of the first people that I knew of. My buddy and I, Tim, had Commodore 64 computers. And we built our own CRM within the dealership, and that's how we keep track. We didn't have the little Rolodex card. Yeah. And then from there, 1999, I started with a half a car, which was a red carpet lease training. We trained dealerships on how to lease cars through the Ford red carpet lease program.
Right, and isn't that Sean's dad or uncle, or wasn't that a family business?
Sean's uncle. Yep. Eustace Wolfington and his father Harry Wolfington, no longer alive. God bless him. So we started working for that, and then we started a new division called Cybercar, which was Jack Nasser. We got the contract with Ford, but Jack Nasser wanted to be the largest or the first person in the market to start selling cars over the internet. Mm-hmm. So we started doing internet sales back in 2000, teaching car dealerships how to sell cars over the internet. And then one thing led after another, and then I got introduced to David Boyce Automark. We acquired Automark, or we merged, or I don't really know the whole story there. But whatever it happened. And then half a car sold to Reynolds and Reynolds in 2002. I think it was April 6th, 2002, if not the exact date. It is the exact date. But and then I worked for Reynolds and Reynolds from 2002 to 2011, and then Bud Blackburn and a few others asked me to come work for Team Velocity, and I started out west. I lived in Arizona at the time, and we had a good run. And then
that was when Team Velocity's mail program was really like, if I remember correctly, it was really the only of its kind right there, where it was really pulling like customer data and doing like sort of lookalike audience matching up and targeted mail that had very specific offers and what have you, right?
Yeah, yes, exactly.
It was like smart mail. It was like the first smart mail. And every dealer jumped on it, and then every dealer after a while would be like, damn, this shit's expensive, and I think I'm already selling people that I would have sold anyway. Like, I just remember that as, not shitting on it, but that I just remember that.
Well, we had perfect prospect maps.
Yes,
perfect prospect maps, and we had all the data downloaded from IHS Polk, and we had a bunch of VIO data. And then we CAS certified everything. You know, I mean, mail is still big. I know a lot of people don't think mail is not that large today. But if I had to get back into the business right now, because everyone's moving over to digital, I think, you know, digital is large. Everyone's online all the time. Social media is humongous today. But I actually would go probably back,
back with mail?
I would go back with mail. Because if you think about this for a second, every household has how many vehicles on average? 2, right?
Mm-hmm.
And how many households are those vehicles registered to?
1.
Right. So there's only one way to get into that household is through mail. And you know what they're driving. So if you're a Toyota dealership and you want to go after all the Toyota owners in that marketplace, the only way to get into that dealership is through a VIN and through a mailbox. And think about it with COVID today and all the different things. Back in the day, you know, you and I and our parents, you know, we used to get 25, 30 pieces of mail every single day. But reality today, you might get 4 or 5 pieces of mail a day,
right? And
everything's going paperless. So when you deliver something in your mailbox, right, people are, wow, this is amazing.
Well, and think, you know, and it's true. I mean, I think everybody would agree with this. But like, what do you get more junk of, email or mail these days?
Email by far. I mean, and how many email boxes do you have?
I've got 3 or 4.
Right, exactly. So imagine trying to keep that up.
3, yeah, 3 that I use regularly.
So and every day you just got an email right now. I'm sure somewhere.
I'm quick to delete.
Right, delete.
Oh man, I delete. So
and the junk folders are not helping out anymore. They're figuring out ways to get through that. So if I had to do it again, I would go back into mail. Yes, it's expensive, but the only way, if I'm a Toyota dealer, and the only way to get into that Toyota dealership is through what? Mail.
Right.
And I would also put service coupons on there too, because then your shelf life's longer. So, you know, oil change, $19.95, $29.95, or $34.95, or whatever it is. With different things there. So yeah, Team Velocity was great. We did that. Did mail, got into the digital world, and then in 2015, you know, we needed to figure out a way to get in the market quicker, and so we partnered with Offer Logix at that time, and then we ended up acquiring through partners and I stuff, and we're totally that's what I'm running now, Offer Logix.
Now you're running the deal, and you guys have had tremendous growth over the last 2 years as well too. Right people, as you guys said before, right people, the right effort, it's the right product at the right time, or the right solution, whatever you want to call it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, to be able to, you know, and listen, I mean, as we've talked, I've been around this business a long time, been doing advertising and marketing for car dealers for as long as I can remember, you know, but
God bless you.
Excuse me. Thank you.
Yeah.
You know, the continual technology, you know, adding increased layers of technology to everything, right, to make all of this more seamless and smooth. You know, your piece just slides right in there.
Perfect.
Right?
Perfect. I mean, it slides right in. I mean, if you think about anything in the marketplace today, think about this for a second, Chris. Most people in this world, and I'm going to give you the exact percentage, 94% of consumers today in the United States, when they're buying a new car, not pre-owned, but buying a new car, finance the vehicle or lease the vehicle. 94%. Not many people pay cash for vehicles today. And if you notice, the prices are all going up, you know, plus a lot of people are charging over sticker today,
right? Which
is a great thing sometimes. Sometimes it's not, I guess. I don't know, depending on where you think about it. But everyone needs to know what they're going to be able to lease that vehicle for or finance that vehicle. Most people, when they buy a house, you think about it, right? They don't buy the house, they buy the mortgage payment.
Right.
Right? Or, you know, at the end of the day, everything falls into a payment. So why not be able to provide penny perfect payments to these consumers in real time, milliseconds really, through multiple channels, lenders, captives, and be able to give out the best possible scenario to that consumer to give I was about to say the BMW slogan, you know, the ultimate driving machine, but the ultimate consumer experience at the end of the day. And that's where I stole it from BMW. So BMW, thank you, but I'm going to take that from you. Ultimate consumer experience.
It's interesting now that I know a little bit more about your history, thinking back, you know, when you said that you were a salesperson and your buddy had these Commodore 64 computers where you created your own little CRM. Interesting how those combined experiences at that dealership, you know, for you have kind of tracked along, you know, the technology pieces tracked along, the automotive pieces tracked along, and always come together. But now, it's really come together.
Oh yeah, it's come together completely. I mean, my friend, you know, not to talk about him too much, but he ended up starting a lead gen business and he got all his ideas from Auto Bytel. So he actually went to go work for Auto Bytel. Back in the day, Stone Age. If anyone remembers Stone Age,
I do. Yes, Stone Age.
Yeah, Stone Age, the lead generating company. Back in the day, they sold leads as well as Auto Bytel.
Yes.
So I'm having a blank on the owner of Auto Bytel at the time, but he owned a Chrysler Jeep Dodge store in Downey, California. He'll come back to me in this conference. But he went to go work for them just as a customer success person, whatever. But he didn't really know. He had this. He sold cars. He understood everything, and he lived in Southern California. And then him and his buddy took all the good ideas from Auto Bytel and started a company called Go Apply for the mortgage brokers back in the day, back in 2003, 2004, 2005. Ended up selling it to Fidelity for a nice penny. And, now he lives in Thailand, and he's doing a great job. So, but, he's my best friend, and so I've learned a lot from him as well. And him and I talk all the time about business, and he thinks totally different than the way I think, which is a great compliment.
Mm-hmm. So nice when you have those relationships with people that are, either in industry or parallel industries where, you can bounce your ideas and thoughts off and get a completely different perspective, because when you're in business doing a particular thing, it's so easy to get stuck inside your own head, isn't it? And just you think you have this world, and that world is a lot smaller than you really think it is sometimes.
Well, and also the world that you need people to bounce your ideas off of, number one. Number two, you need people who you work with to tell you the truth versus just giving you yes sir, yes sir. I walk into meetings sometimes, like we just had a meeting last week at our offices, and we had our project managers there, and I said, look, I don't want to hear the yeses. I want to hear what's everything that we're doing wrong and what we need to do to improve it. And they're like, you really want to hear it? I was like, yeah, I want to hear it. Let's whiteboard it out right now, because we're going to fix every one of those issues right now. And they're like, okay. So they just start whiteboarding. And the other rule is, I'm definitely the dumbest person in that room. So these people are a lot smarter than I am when it comes to programming things and doing things. So I let them run with it, and then we just run, and then we spitball back and forth about what we need to know. Mm-hmm. And we ended up coming out of that meeting with 2 new solutions. Which we're not in market yet with them, so we're not going to talk about them. But I think it's going to be an amazing 2 new solutions, and it's going to be the first in the market, especially with penny perfect payments. And you're going to be it'd be very surprising. Actually, it's a very monetizing thing for the people that we're going to be selling to. They're going to make so much money, and it's back into what we talked about before. My buddy selling his lead gen business, and that's how it all came out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So.
What do you enjoy most about this industry? You've been around it now, your adult life.
It's the only vertical I know.
Right?
Yeah. Well, first of all, I love the people.
Yeah.
I have some incredible friends like you. I got some incredible friends that own car dealerships. It's just amazing, the people, the entrepreneurship of everybody, how they grind it out, good, bad, or indifferent. Like right now, they're in their good times. I talked to a friend of mine that owns a couple car dealerships in Atlanta area, and he just bought 2 new ones, and he said he paid them off within a short amount of time.
That's amazing,
right? So they're in good times, but then there's bad times, right? So where they're not making any money, doing different things. Now they got the EV vehicles coming out. The OEMs are saying, hey, we want to use you guys as the delivery center, and look what Stellantis just did in Europe. Over there, so there's lots of different things happening with the franchise laws.
Let's hang on a second. Let's tap into that, because I think that's the big thing in retail automotive right now. And I was talking to somebody yesterday, not in the business, not even remotely, just a friend of I can't say a friend, but I'm not gonna say who it was, but somebody close to me, right? And he was saying, and as a layperson, understanding that the manufacturers are possibly looking at a shift towards a direct sales model,
sure.
Right? So if somebody not in our business is hearing that, let's talk about that, because I think that's going to be one of the biggest things that happens in our business, because who is it, Farley? There's been all these little sort of innuendo and slip-ups and words said that are giving the impression that the dealers or that the manufacturers not loving the fact that the dealers are making all this money right now.
Of course, yeah.
And how?
But they're making a lot of money too, though.
They are, right? But
all the rates and incentives are down. They're not subventing it all.
But is it ever enough?
Yeah.
Right. Like, I mean, every dealer I talk to that's killing it, they all still want to do more.
Sure.
Right.
I have a saying is that we're only 1% there. So there's 100%, and people always ask, well, how much more are you going to go? I said, well, I'm only at 1%. So I said, there's a lot more to go. But dealers want to make more money. OEMs want to make more money. But at the end of the day, we got to make sure that our customers are taken care of 100%. Because if the customers are not taken care of 100%, then they're not going to come back to that OEM or that dealership, and then everyone loses. So we got to make sure that we keep 100% focused on the customer experience.
I agree, and I'll tee up something that I've said in previous episodes. This concept of the connected vehicle, right? And how much consumer data is going to be generated in the connected car, and then where does that data go and who owns it? Does over time do smaller independent dealers lose control of the customer data that was once their customer and that now becomes more connected to the manufacturer? And as we see this shift to EV, if there is this direct sales situation, which could happen. I mean, there's going to be a big struggle to make that happen, but It's possible. It's like, who owns the customer at a certain point in time, right? Like the customer used to be the dealers, right? Yep. But now, people will go anywhere to get a car even remotely like what they would want. So there's not any connection to the dealer because they're just going to go where they can get what they can get. And two, as the data ownership perhaps shifts, that customer experience, you're saying it might be the only thing that really keeps a customer at the dealership.
It's true. So, you just hit on a lot of different things. So, who owns the customer, right?
Right.
Well, the dealership owns the customer, right? They should be marketing back and forth. But is that reality? There are a lot of data sources out there today that you can get all the customer data directly through the RDRs and all the service marketing programs, that are out there. And you can get all that stuff in real time. So 'cause a lot of these dealers are giving that information when they come in for service back to these other data companies. And you could be able to market to those customers directly and be, let's just say conquest that particular consumer. But at the end of the day, on sales, the same thing happens. Is it RDR? Someone's keeping track of those RDRs. Right, not just the dealership. They got to know cross-sell reports. They got to know this. They got to know that. The OEMs know who they are, and they have real live. Now that we're at Offer Logix, I talk to the majority of the OEMs, and they offer us some PII data. We don't take any PII data because we only do lease and finance calculations. But they have API fees directly with all that data that you can actually resell or use to market for any particular dealership out there. So I don't know who owns the customer anymore. I actually think no one owns the customer. The OEM owns it. So I actually think it's like McDonald's. At the end of the day, McDonald's makes you buy everything from their distribution centers. Subway's the same way. Chick-fil-A, they buy everything from their distributions. In-N-Out Burger. So it's a McDonald's concept I'm going to just use because they're the first in the market.
Right.
So I actually think OEMs own the data. But no, they will never come out there and tell you that. But they know everything about you. They know everything about us. Because most of the time we go through their captives and they have all our financial data too. So at the end of the day, they can market to you in any which way they want to keep you. But with the EV stuff, I think coming down the path, Tesla, Elon Musk did a great job, getting around that. And now Rivian and Polestar and all these other EV companies, they don't have really dealerships. Polestar does. Actually, my friend just opened up a Polestar dealership in Arizona. Actually, the first one there in Arizona.
Really?
Yep. The Courtesy Automotive Group just opened up a Polestar dealership, which is beautiful. So they're doing a dealer direct model, but Rivian's not, and then definitely Tesla's not at the end of the day. So, and Ford just decided to do their whole EV branch out, and General Motors is now doing their whole EV branch out. General Motors just did a reorg a few weeks ago, and then so you think about it, I don't know how it's going to go. Anything's possible in life. That hopefully NEDA can stop it. Get up on the Hill over there in Washington D.C. To stop the franchise. Try to keep the franchise network versus trying to lose it all.
Mm-hmm.
But over in Europe, if you look at the news in Europe, it looks like they're going to be order takers coming up here. I mean, it looks like the laws are being changed over there. But hopefully we don't follow that direction. But but I can tell you this: penny perfect payments will be still be available for all that online buying vehicles online for lease and finance payments at the end of the day.
This paid political announcement brought to you by Offer Logix. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
I had to throw that in there.
Yeah, absolutely.
That was actually like perfect timing.
It was.
Yeah, it was perfect timing.
All right, let's shift gears for a second. Okay, right. I didn't realize you were also a fellow lunatic in the triathlon world, right? We were talking about that. I had no idea. Of course, I've fallen off my horse, and
well, we'll get you back on that horse.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to getting back on. It's going to be a slow process, but I know it needs to be done.
Yep.
I'm curious though, for you, what drew you into that world?
Well, first of all, I was single, and I was overweight. So let's just say I was very heavy. And definitely, I know this is a public announcement place here. I couldn't see some things, and so I was in the shower, and it just happened. And what happened was I said, I need to go lose some weight. So I bought a bicycle, and I started running. And I was very athletic when I was younger,
right?
But I got really out of shape, like I was drinking every night, going partying. I was living in Scottsdale, Arizona. And I was having a good old time, like not a bad time.
Right.
I was having a blast. They always say, run fast, run far, have. Well, no, I'll give you the line in a minute, but run far, run fast, have a blast. No, run fast, have a blast.
Okay.
Right. So actually, my buddy John Dean told me that line a long time ago. And then there's another line: if there's a wheel, there's a way. Right. If there's a wheel, there's a way. But maybe I should send this message to him. But so I was overweight, and I needed to get back in shape. So I started working out, doing triathlons, and I joined a group called Tri Scottsdale, and we had a great group of people, ladies and men, and we had started working out 6 days a week. I think Mondays was a long run day. Tuesday was a 25-mile bike day. Wednesday was track workout at a local track at 5 o'clock in the morning. And then Thursday was a bike day, 25 miles, hill day. Mm-hmm. One day was flat, one day was hill. And then Friday was maybe Friday was the long run day. Monday might have been a day off. I don't remember all the details anymore.
Right.
But then Saturday was a long bike day, and then you swam on your own time, at the local gym, and they had masters, classes that you could join or just learn. But I couldn't even swim really. I mean, I remember taking my first breath. But then I started doing, 1,000 meters, 1,500 meters, 2,000 meter workouts in an hour or whatever it was.
Mm-hmm.
And then I lost all the weight, and I went from XYZ to basically, I'm about 10 pounds heavier now where I am. But I think I'm more muscle now than I was then. But yeah, so that's how I got into it.
And, we were talking about, your run speed is fast, right? Like
when I'm little, like not my weight now.
Okay, but when you were going, you were pacing between 6 and 7 minute miles, right?
Yeah, 6:30s. Yeah, 6:30, 6:45.
That is just hauling ass. Running is throughout my entire life, ever since I was a kid, I love riding bikes. So I was like, that's a given. And I have run. Swimming, I was like, I don't even know how I'm going to begin doing this, but I just got motivated to do it about 3 years ago. And the swim came along for me the best, and riding came along. But running, if I'm in great shape and I'm really doing good, I'm at 9 minutes, maybe 8:45. If I'm really cooking, I might book it down to 8 for a little bit.
Yeah, but you got to get those hip flexors going.
Yeah, I don't know how to do it.
You got to go to track workout.
Yeah.
If you got to find a track around here where they have a team,
mm-hmm.
and they have a coach, and you run about 3 miles in the track workout. It's an hour long, 45 minutes to an hour, and
right.
You warm up a little bit, and then You do, one by, maybe 8 400s or 12 400s or, 12 800s or 6 800s or whatever the workout is. You have a coach and a team, and they'll get you going. But that's how you get your speed, is through track workouts. Not running out on the beach or out on the A1A or whatever it is.
Right.
You go to a track and do it once a week, and you'll see your speed increase completely. Go right to the track, because that's where you get your speed workout, running.
Right.
Yeah, because now you see everybody else at the same pace as you, and then you're trying to pass them, and you're just going and going and going.
What did you, as you got into it and started competing and racing, what did you really enjoy most about it?
Well, meeting my wife is the best thing I've ever met. That's the most memorable thing that I ever had. But really I would say sometimes when you're on a long bike ride, just staying focused. My head, I don't know like you, but I have ADD, a little bit ADHD. I have every DD that there is. But at the end of the day, keeping focused, meeting all the new friends. I met a lot of new people, lifelong friends that will always be my friends. I follow them on Facebook today now that I don't live in Arizona.
Right.
But we'll always be friends. And I think that was number one. Well, number one is meeting my wife. Number two is having the friends that I met. And then of course third is having that competitive nature, being out there, with everybody else.
I just there's something that I enjoy about, and I don't know what this says about me, but like I enjoy some of like the suffering involved with it, right? Like there's something about the training and the long bike rides or the long runs, and sometimes you're just like, there's some moments when you're riding,
Oh, yeah.
My wife has an EV, and she loves to just go out and ride. Not an EV, an electric bike, excuse me. And she enjoys,
EB, that's an EB.
Yeah, EB.
Yeah.
She's riding, she's looking at the scenery, she's enjoying nature. She's like, is it the same for you? I'm like, I got to tell you, there are times when miles go by, you just don't even notice what's going by, right?
Exactly.
And because you're just like just grinding it out, and there can be miserable moments, then there's the great moments when the energy kicks in, but at the end of it all, you're like, I did that.
Oh yeah, or when you bonk, right, or something, right? So like I can remember I was at the half Ironman in Vineland in
Texas,
right? California.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was near Santa Rosa, Napa Valley, and up there. And
Paul just went by with our food.
Oh, good. Yeah, he's probably hungry. he gets grouchy. But yeah, he does actually get very grouchy. Yeah, he's not fun to be around when he's hungry.
Oh yeah.
No. Been around him a few times.
Gotta keep him fed.
Oh, you gotta keep him fed. Yeah, he has a good metabolism. But yeah, so I bonked on the run. I was doing really good. The swim was probably my best swim I've ever had. It's in the river there. I forget the name of the river, whatever it is. And then the course is beautiful through all the vineyards and everything. You should actually look into it. The Vineland up in Santa Rosa. Fly your bike out there. It's a big race. And then, but I bonked. And then when you run, I guess, so it's 13.1 miles and a half. So I guess if you run 6 miles, whatever it is, 10K that way and 10K back basically. And but you run through a vineyard on the way back, and they have showers, like
the misters,
like a mister, like a big, but you got soaking wet. And I bonked on the way home, and it's basically uphill on the way there, and basically downhill on the way home. But I bonked, and my wife and my brother and everybody was waiting for me at the finish. Because I typically would finish, like around 5:30, I would say.
Okay.
In that time frame, maybe 5:20, and I was on target to probably break 5, and I ended up coming in like 6:30. But at the end of the day,
right? Yeah, swim bike, walk.
Yeah, exactly. Swim bike and sit down on the sidelines. Basically bonk. But,
really?
Yeah. But it was fun.
Did you not properly nourish yourself? Did you not have like the right nutrition throughout the day?
I don't really remember. But it was fun. It was a fun half Ironman. And then it was fun. But it was a beautiful. Like when I remember running through the vineyards and biking through the vineyards and all through that. The Russian River up there. It's the Russian. I think it was the Russian River. I don't remember the exact name, but whatever it was.
It was nice. It was good.
It was good. Actually, you should do it. Vineland was nice. And the other one that you should do, which I tell everyone to do, is Boise, 70.3. You go up in Lucky Lake or whatever it is. You swim up there, your 2,000 meter swim, and then the bike ride the first part of it's like a massive downhill. Like, I mean, you get speeds like
you're hauling,
like you're down Tour de France speed coming down. Like, I had to brake because I was so scared. But like, I was actually nervous. And then coming through is beautiful. And then you run downtown Boise, you know, in the park there, right by Boise State, and right by the Capitol down there. And it was another beautiful adventure. Yeah. So
I need this like recharge of excitement because, like I said, I've fallen off of it, and I'm like, I'm going for a ride, you know, Saturday. It's been a while since I've been on the bike, and I'm like, man, I don't even like, I'm so away from it right now. I don't even remember like my like day before preparation. Like, okay, what I do with my bike, getting the nutrition ready, getting my gear ready. Like, I had a system. Brad and I used to ride a lot on Saturday mornings. Pretty much every Saturday morning we'd meet in like Deerfield Beach, and we'd do like 40, 50, 60, somewhere in there. And had like a total system down. And just this morning I was like, I've completely forgotten even my preparatory system. I'm like, I don't even know where my water bottles are.
Oh yeah,
I got
to bring it all back together. Where your gloves? How about your gloves?
Oh, everything. All my stuff. I used to have like an absolute system. You know, wake up Saturday morning at like 4:30, and I was like, dunk.
Especially here in Florida, you probably had to freeze your water bottles because otherwise they didn't stay cold when you're riding.
You know, I would do that sometimes.
Yeah.
But yeah, all my mixes.
Yeah, you got to figure it out again. You'll get there with the water bottles, the gels, whatever you got.
I know.
You know,
I got my Hammer Nutrition gels. I got my Scratch Labs.
Oh yeah.
You know.
You'll get back to riding. I mean, it's fun. Like, I haven't been on a road bike in a long time. Actually, I see it every day in my garage. It's parked up on the thing, but it's actually parked
out on the farm.
No, yeah, on the farm, but it's actually parked up in the garage, and actually I got it all tuned up about 2 years ago, probably before COVID.
Right.
I just never did. I never took it out. I think I took it out once.
There's got to be some amazing riding up by you.
Amazing, yeah, amazing. But I just don't have time anymore. Yeah. Like, you know, I got 3 kids, a great wife, Offer Logix, and just my life changed. So now I just mow the grass. So that's where my fun comes in. On Fridays, I like to mow the grass.
All right, now, do you have a specific pattern?
No, I mix it up. Well, no, every other week I do a different pattern. So every there's only 2 patterns, and one week I do the diagonal, and then the other week I do straights. So so I mix it up so that way the grass doesn't get cut the same way each week.
Now, do you do the edges first? Do you have like an edge, do you have like an edge thing that you got to do first to get you set up?
That's last. That's like going to the bar. Remember, like, cutting grass is like going to the barbershop. So you got to cut the hair, right? You got to cut the hair, and then they bring the edgers in. You know, like
right. Just do the trimming at the end.
At the end. So you got to cut the grass first to see what you didn't cut. You know, and then you got to bring in the weed whacker.
You know, one of my first summer job, when I was 15, I lied about my age to get the job, was at the local golf course, and my buddy and I were like greenskeepers, and we had to get there at 5:30 during the weekdays and 4:30 on the weekends, and our entire existence for 8 hours, like 6 days a week, was weed whacking and raking sand traps.
Oh
yeah. And trying not to crash the golf carts. You know, it's so much fun.
It is fun.
Yeah,
it is fun. You know, being out there, you know, and especially golf course. I mean, that's like being in a park every day. You know, enjoying the scenery, the birds chirping early in the morning, the sunrise.
We were
coming
just basically just trying to hide from our boss. Like, we'd come in and he'd give us a list, like, you need to weed whack this, that, and we get out there and do it. But like our boss, his name was Dick, and he was a dick. Yeah. And he would, every time he came up on you, you know, he was nasty. And what are you guys fucking doing?
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, well, I get it. Yeah, you guys are young. He wanted to get the work done.
Yep.
Yeah, no, I get it. No, but but cutting grass, I actually love it. You know, I've done it twice this year already.
Well, you said that it's where you come up with a lot of the ideas for your company.
Yeah. So a lot of visions, a lot of things come up in cutting the grass, because you know you're out by yourself. You have headphones on, and just like these, almost. Yeah. You know, and mine are red, But yeah, I mean, you're out there, so you don't have to hear the big zero-turn motor, you know, in the back end, and you come up with these ideas, and you just kind of, you know, play with it while you're on the mower, and all of a sudden you're done cutting the grass, and then I call Paul Applebaum on the phone and say, "Hey, Paul, I got a couple ideas. Let me run this by you," And he turns down 95% of them. He says, Aaron, go cut some more grass. That's not
Paul's down here in Florida, eagerly awaiting for you to finish clipping your lawn on Friday afternoon, right?
Yeah.
Get the date, get the data download on what we're doing with the company next.
Yeah, well, yes. Yeah, he's like, yeah, that's stupid. That was a dumb idea. He tells me more dumb ideas. He goes, you have more dumb ideas. I said, at least they're an idea. What do you got? And he's like, I don't have anything. I said, exactly. Go mow the lawn then.
Yeah, I appreciate when my people tell me I have a dumb idea. The other morning I was like, it was a dumb idea that I've had 4 times, and for whatever reason, like once a year or something, I come back to it and I said it, and everyone was like, that's fucking stupid, Chris. Okay, I just want to make sure that's the way everybody felt. I guess I needed to hear it again.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Sometimes good ideas come up over and over and over, and then all of a sudden someone else says it some other way than how you present it, and they're like, that's the best idea I've ever heard. And you're like, I just said that like 6 months ago.
I think my wife just did something recently, something that I've been trying to tell her over, like, when I say it, trying to tell her, a philosophy I've been sharing and hoping that she would adopt to some degree. Yeah. And the other day, it finally sunk in, and it always sinks in a way where she said it as if it was like her idea, like it was her realization, and there was no mention of the fact that I'd said it 10 times over the last 5 years, right?
Exactly.
And it came out, and even though I got no credit for it, I had such a smile. I was like, yes, there we go.
I agree. Yeah. So sometimes it's how it's presented that the idea doesn't sound too good.
I used to think that presentation was part of my number one skill set. Maybe in this particular instance with my wife, it didn't go.
It happens all the time.
Yeah.
So I come up with ideas at home or at work or wherever, and people are like, yeah, that's not going to work. I'm like, I think that's a good idea. And then like 3 months later, what are you doing? Oh, we're doing this. Oh, that's a great idea. But you go with it. You flow.
Yeah, exactly.
You flow.
Where do you said you've got a couple new things kind of cooking right now, and when you look at your growth over the last couple years, where does this head for you over the next period of time with Offer Logix?
Well, I'm not going to share exactly what we're working on.
Sure.
Those 2 items, but I think personalization is a big one. I think everyone wants to be personalized. I mean, Amazon changed the world for all of us, and everyone's trying to copy them a little bit, or a lot. If you think about your bank apps, all online, anything you get news fed to you almost today could be personalized. Facebook personalized, all the Meta universe stuff. Meta. So all that good stuff. Hey, my niece works for Meta, so I can't talk about that too bad. So she actually works on the Meta universe virtual reality program out of New York City. I think personalization is huge, big today in the calculation business. Of course, we do that today, but it's really more of a manual process. What I mean by that, you have to send us the information manually. You have to send it to us, and then we can calculate the payment. But I think if we can make that more automated, from the consumer, the ultimate consumer experience, if you can make that ultimate, I think that is a play. And then the next play is EV. I think, with all the federal tax credits, state tax credits, household incomes and everything, I think EV and all the manufacturers coming out with all their EVs over the next, 8 to 10 years, that's a big play right now. So what do we do with that? So I think at the end of the day, the only way, my tagline is, penny perfect payments is, I got to keep with that program. And so I got to make it simple, easy to do business with us, and I want to make it very easy, keep it Sesame Street for everybody at the end of the day.
Are you having fun with it?
Oh yeah. This is actually, I talked to our COO, and I said, this is the best thing that ever happened to me. And he's like, what do you mean? You didn't like selling to tier 3 and doing all that type of stuff? I was like, oh, I love tier 3. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I always have a fallback, right? But I said, this is awesome. I get to meet with other C executives. I get to meet with other businesses that are in the auto industry. I get to learn all about what they're doing. I understand what they're doing, and I get to help them consult, and I consult them and advise what they're doing. And now I'm becoming great friends with, people like you and others in the industry. And now I just pick up the phone, and they're like, hey, Aaron, what's up? I'm like, hey, no, I just want to run something by you, whatever it is. Could be miscellaneous, could be a major project. What do you think about this project? Would you guys buy this if I thought of this? I run ideas by other CEOs like you and presidents, and they're like, that's amazing. Or no, Aaron, that is the stupidest idea I've ever heard. Right, whatever it is. But I love it, and it's I don't know, I think it was meant to be, and I think God had a reason why He put me here. And and I thank Him every single day. There's much gratitude there, and I'm very I'm very blessed. But I do want to just make sure everyone understands. I pinch myself every morning, and say, this can't be reality. Am I really living this life now? Right? But I am. And
it's great to hear, man.
Yeah. And the other thing is, I always say to other people too, is as I wear Offer Logix. I always have a hat on or Offer Logix, and I always say to people. People always ask me, man, you wear Offer Logix like around the weekend. You have hoodies, you have sweatshirts, you got polos, you got hats, you got pens. Actually, I need to give you a couple pens. I got a couple pens in my bag.
Okay.
Right? People say, why do you always wear Offer Logix stuff every day? I said, have you ever watched a football game? What do they all wear? A uniform. Have you ever been to a baseball game? They all have what? A uniform on. Have you ever been to a professional soccer club? It could be for kids or older kids. They're like, yeah, of course. What do they all have? Every kid comes dressed for training, and when they're on the field, they're all wearing one uniform. They're all in unison. So I said, you got to dress the part, right? You got to wear your uniform every day. That way you can actually live it. And one of my phrases is, you got to live your dream, right? And I say, I'm living my dream every day, so why not wear the Offer Logix stuff, swag, and live it all the way through. So that's what I do every day, and everyone laughs at it, but I'm like, don't laugh at me, because you're going to be laughing here in a little while.
Right.
But I have fun with it, and I thank myself and it actually, it's a breath of fresh air for me, because I've been in Tier 3, 20 some years, and now selling B2B, taking my personal brand, my personal recognition, my personal reputation, and be able to now bring that to other companies is a great thing to have.
That's awesome, man.
Yep.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
I enjoy the glad to hear that sort of spiritual recognition as well too.
Yeah.
Paying some respects to a higher power.
Oh my goodness! Every Sunday when we go to church, a lot of people think I'm Jewish. And my heritage is Jewish, so I know I'm going off script here a little bit for you, but I was confirmed Christian on December 5th, 2012. I converted from Judaism over to Christianity.
Really?
Yep. So I go to church every Sunday with my wife and my family, and I pray every day that the family's great, whatever else is going on, and hope to God keeps track of me.
What prompted the transition?
Well, my wife is Lutheran.
Okay.
Right. So we had to raise our kids either Jewish or Lutheran. She's very religious, and so. One day, we're in Arizona at La Casa de Cristo, Lutheran Church, and I said, you know what, it's time for me to convert over. And I wasn't really religious, I was kind of like in between,
right.
Can I go left, right, not do it at all? I said, you know what, this would be great. We have 3 kids. At that time, we had 2 kids, but and so we got to make sure that we follow the religion path for them moving forward. Yeah,
it's funny. I grew up and was raised Catholic. I was baptized and went to Catholic high school, and it wasn't until I was in college sometime, and my grandmother had been writing, and my dad's mother had been writing the family tree to some degree, and she wrote about what would have been my great grandfather or my great great grandfather. I can't remember. I should know, but it's off the top of my head right now. Charles Joseph Herman, born in Vienna, Austria, Jewish, died a Christian. I saw that. And nobody in our family had said a damn, it wasn't even discussed. As far as I knew, we were Catholics, And I read that, I was like, what? How has this not been discussed at all? And then it started to, some little things, little personality nuance things started to make a little bit more sense to me, even though we always, it's not like we went to church all the time, but I mean, we were like Easter Sunday and Christmas, a lot of families.
Major holidays.
Exactly. But it was so interesting. I was like, wow, our heritage is actually Jewish as well. And, now I've got that. I'm not really, I would consider myself more spiritual. I don't pray all the time. I pray when I remember to. Mm-hmm. My wife from Russia, although I mentioned before, she's Tatar, so she's Muslim. So we've got this very interesting mix. And at this point in time with the kids, it's sort of like, we'll just let them
pick.
Right.
Go with the flow.
Yeah. Cause she's no different a Muslim than I would be a Christian in the sense that, her family, it's not like they go to, temple, not temple. Oh my God.
Yeah. Muslims go to temple, don't they?
No, they don't.
They go to the mosque.
The mosque. Thank you. I've been to some mosques in Russia too. Very interesting.
Yeah, I've never been to Russia mosque. I've never been to Russia, but I've been to Jerusalem, and I've been to the mosque in the old city, downtown Jerusalem there.
Yeah.
And behind the wall and everything, you had to walk up the steps and everything. So I've been to Jerusalem, and been to the mosque up top there.
Interesting.
Yeah. So, but that was years ago. That was I don't know what year that would have been. That would have been. Let me think here. That had to have been like 1991, 1992 in that range.
Mm-hmm.
And Jerusalem, Tel Aviv, Beersheba.
I heard Tel Aviv is awesome.
Yeah, no, it's good. Yeah, Tel Aviv's great. Yeah, and then it was so long ago. And then I stayed at a kibbutz called Logix Shakarkar or something like that up in Tiberias. I don't remember the exact name, but I think it's like that. Right near the Tiberias Sea, right on the border of Lebanon. In Israel, I actually walked on the border there. I've been in a lot of places. If we go talk about that, I've been to Korea, been to the DMZ zone, South Korea, right there in North Korea.
Mm-hmm.
Been by the Freedom Bridge. I walked the Beijing Wall, the Great Wall in Beijing. Been to Shanghai. Been in a lot of places. So the auto industry, has been great to me. So I think 36 years or 37 years now. So it's pretty good. But religion,
a long, wonderful way from your humble beginnings, and for $3.23 an hour.
Yeah, $3.35. I remember that was minimum wage in Pennsylvania at the time, and I got a 10-cent tip. But I still remember that. I tell people that story all the time. Like, what's the smallest tip you ever got? I said 10 cents. From a guy. I checked his oil and he gave me a 10. He said, "Go buy yourself a candy bar." I said,
that was about as good for like a Jolly Rancher back then.
Oh, we didn't sell Jolly Ranchers, but I was like, wow, 10 cents. I said, "Thank you very much, sir. It's been a pleasure checking your oil. But it was fun. It was fun for sure."
Aaron, been a pleasure talking with you. Nice natural segue right there.
Yeah, man, this is great. Thank you for having me.
You are welcome. Yeah. You're welcome back anytime.
Great. Yeah, and then next time we can pick out some new topics. We always got topics to talk about.
I know. I feel we've only just scratched the surface. Yeah. That's the thing. Like this, this show, I know we've got a time limit today, but this show could easily go an hour and a half, 2 hours, 2.5, 3.
But I don't know anyone's going to watch it for that long, so we got to cut it up in like 5-minute segments.
We're super interesting, man. There's thousands of people just dying to watch this conversation or listen to it on their.
Well, I hope they're not dying, right? Because I always say people are dying. I was like when I see funeral homes or I see cemeteries, I always tell my kids, "See that cemetery? People are dying to get in there." Right, but
terrible.
Terrible. Actually, when I was growing up, there was a YMCA in Philadelphia. They had a cemetery right out front of it, and it was in Jenkintown, Pennsylvania, or Abington, Pennsylvania. And I remember pulling out. I always asked my mom. I said, "Why is there a cemetery like right in front of this YMCA?" She was like, "Those are all the dead counselors." That's what my mom used to say to me. I said, "What do you mean?" She was like, "Yeah, kids like you drive them crazy and they die, so they bury them right here. So you better make sure you're polite and kind at all times."
Parents say some fucked up shit.
I know, but what she was saying is that you need to be kind.
Yes.
So don't be mean to them because they're going to die. They're going to be over there. So she was like, kindness wins every time. That's what she was giving me the lesson.
Right.
So I was like, oh, okay. So now I've been back because my parents still live there. And I drive by and I say the same thing to my kids. They're like, "See that YMCA, that cemetery? Make sure you're kind because otherwise they die if they go in there." So it's actually pretty funny.
That is good, man.
All right, but it was great. Thanks, Chris, for having us.
Aaron, you got it, man. Thank you. You're welcome anytime.
Yep.
It's been great.
Thank you. Bye.
See you. All right.
Bye.